All right, so welcome back. And on this one, we need to start with the application. Right now, our application looks like this, and we need to get here. So we just, need to go to the app.js and start. I'm going to create a const, and from this const, we are going to bring things we need from Vue. What do we need? Well, we need to create just like this, and then app, and then a comma, we need the reactive, and then we need to compute it properties. So I'm going to say compute it, and I know, made a mistake, I'm going to do comma. Now then, of course, we need to create the app at some point. Create app, open and close. We need to pass an object. And inside, we need to do the setup, just like, we did before. And then open and close. And before I forget, I'm going to go here and we need to mount. And we need to do it inside the app, right? Just like, again, we've learned all of this. All right, so at the end of the day, from the setup, we need to export some things to expose. So I'm going to do a return, and I'm going to leave this, almost open so we can add things in a couple of minutes. Now, if we think about this, how this application works, we have the main screen, and when we have the losers or we have the players, we can go to the second screen. So we have two screens. And right from the start, we are going to be doing validations. What if I add something that, doesn't exist? So this is a validation. Then we need to create an array of names so we can host the name. And at the end, when we check who's the loser, we need a result. So we need a state, right? So I'm going to go at the top and I'm going to create a default state. I'm going to say default and then state. You can call this whatever you want. Default state, open and close. Now, the state is going to decide which screen we need to show right at the beginning. And for now, it's going to be true. So if it's true, it means that the screen that we will show is this one. So then I'm going to do comma. Then when we add a name right here, well, we need to manage it through the state, right? Through a ref or maybe a reactive. So I'm going to be calling that property input, and then it's going to be called name. And we're going to leave it empty for now. Then we're going to be adding names to an array of names. So I'm going to be doing names and this open and close and then comma. If we have errors, I'm going to be putting it right here inside the state. And again, for now, we have no errors, so it's going to be empty. Then we need something that it's going to decide if we want to show the errors or not. So I'm going to be creating a property called show error. And this one, it's going to be equal to false. And if it's true, it means that we want to show the errors. And at the end of the day, the application needs to show the loser. So this one is going to go inside the result. And for now, again, everything starts up as empty. So if I go here, I'm going to create a const data equals to, and I'm going to make it reactive. And the default state is going to go inside here. Now, why am I making this? Well, in the future, you might want to, have a very large state. And if you put all of this right here with the rest of the code, it's going to start getting messy and messy and messy. So sometimes maybe putting it on a different place is just a little bit more, clean, let's say. All right, so we are getting the data. We are creating some data. I need to expose it so we can use it within the index.html. And right now, we know we can use it because we have the state. So maybe we can go here and decide which screen we want to show, if it's the first one or we have the the other one. So I'm going to go here and just create all of this. I'm going to say div, and then I'm going to be doing ID, and this is going to be names. And I'm going to add the class of container. And all of these classes, container. All of these classes are the classes that we are using from the style sheet I gave you a while ago. So if I type something right here, we should be getting something on our screen. When we reload it, we get the SS. And notice that we are just showing one single thing. So this is the ID and names and container. Now then, we are going to have a different container, which is going to be the result container, is the second screen. So the names is where we add the names, or we display the names. And the other one, the other screen, is going to be ID of results. And we are going to use that class of container as well, container. Now, if I do something here, the problem right now is that we are going to be getting both screens. And notice that we have something weird. We have SS behind the AA. So yeah, we have both components on top of each other. And we already have a state that says, it's true. So if this state is true, I want to show the first one, but if it's false, I want to show the results. That's how we're going to work with this. I'm going to say v and then if equals 2, and I'm going to do data and then dot and then state. And if it's true, we're going to show this one only. And the other one is pretty much the same, but the opposite. We could use a v else, but I'm going to use a v if. I'm going to go right here and say that v if is going to be the opposite of what we are doing. I'm going to say not, and then data, and then state. And this is going to show when this one is not showing, and back and forth. So if I save it, notice that if I reload it, we just get the SS and we don't get the other one. And if we change it back to false, just like this, now we're going to be showing the results screen. Now, of course, we need to do something, we need to make it better, right? We need something to work with right here. And I'm going to be working first with the first screen, which is going to be the true one. All right, so I'm going to go back. What do we need? Well, we need a logo. I'm going to create a div, and this div is going to be class of logo, just like that. And inside, I'm going to be doing an H1 of who pays the bill. Cool. And if I save it and reload it, we get the title. That's why we are not doing CSS, because it takes a long time. And right now we are learning Vue, not CSS. Then what do we need? If we check the final project, we need an input and we need a button. So I'm going to go right here and just create a container. You can call this container whatever you want, but at the end of the day, you need to respect the classes I'm giving you on the CSS. So it's going to be input container. So inside the input container, we need two things. We need the input. I'm going to say input, that it's going to be a type of text. I'm going to say text. And then we need also the V model so we can handle this, but I'm going to be doing it in a minute. Then we need the button. I'm going to create the button. I'm going to open and close, and inside I'm going to be doing at. And if I go here to our application, we get the input and then we get the add. Okay, on the input, if we add a name, we want to add it to a very special place. So we are controlling this with the input name. This is the V model. So, okay, so I'm going to copy that name. I'm going to go right here to the text. And I'm going to say that we want to use V model, just like this. And then I'm going to be using trim so we can avoid for the from the user to add information that we don't want, like, empty spaces. So it's going to be data, that input name. And at the end of the day, I want to add a click, and this click will, add that name to the list. We need to create a function. I'm going to say add, and then name, and then to, and then list. In this case, you can call this function whatever you want, but remember that, you need to change it right here. And okay, so we are calling a function. If we are calling a function, it means that we need to go to the app CSS and just, add that function. And for now, I'm going to be doing it, or just, adding it and exporting it or expose it. And we're going to finish this on the next section. I'm going to go right here, say methods. I'm going to go right there and say const. We need that add names to list. And this one is going to be open and close. And I'm going to go right here. So, okay, so I guess we are ready to move forward. Let's go to the next section. And what we need to do on the next one is going to be adding names to the list and then displaying the names right here at the bottom.